And so, okay, wait, I got it. Sorry, Bob, I'm gonna go ahead and welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. If everybody can just go ahead and mute themselves really fast, we're gonna go ahead and say a quick hello. We're gonna do an open mic. We're gonna discuss kind of topics about the senior market, things that you guys want to see us teach in a mastermind or bring experts in to talk to you guys about, because we are always looking for ideas. We'll also give you some upcoming events that we've got going on. But myself, Donald Maycott, Laura, who's not able to be here, and Debbie Gentry want to thank you. We are the Seniors Network, and we appreciate you guys joining us on Tuesday nights. So tonight is open mic, and we just kind of want to open it up to conversation. I'm going to leave it up to Donald because he's going to just maybe like open up for a topic. Donald?
Yeah, so really, I mean, is there any hot topics someone would like to talk about? Anything in particular that they're struggling with, have questions about, anything like that?
Okay, who's struggling with finding senior home buyers or struggling putting together a senior event in their local community? Yes, thank you, Christine, for raising your hand. I appreciate it. Okay, who puts on senior events? I know I did speak to Bob, but anybody here put on senior events in their community currently? Donald. I know Debbie does. Donald, anybody? Mike? I know Mike, I see he's muted. Terry, do you put anything together? Senior events, anything? Moreland, anybody? It's very quiet.
So Christine, open your mic and tell us what you're looking for. What do you need help with?
I blame it on COVID that I just kind of lost the momentum. I've had the SRES for a while, did not utilize it. But then being involved with family members, going through all the processes, it's like, you know, why am I not using this? I'm a senior. I understand what they're going through. And I was starting with some network groups out where I live, and then everything was shut down and I lost my connections. It's like, how do I get back into it? I don't know of any networking group again. That one was nice because it had people that helped. It wasn't just senior independent living or assisted living. It was like movers and insurance guys and veteran, you know, that kind of thing. And it's like I'm starting over. How do I get my foot in the door? And which doors should I start with?
Why don't
people don't know me because I'm new to the neighborhood?
Why don't you start calling some of those local, like, downsizing people and introducing yourself to them? Because part of us
by downsizing people, what people?
So there are decluttering people. We're going to right sizing. I'm not going to use downsizing anymore.
Right.
That's a very negative term, and so right sizing. Somebody posted an article in one of our groups about right sizing versus the word downsizing, and I really enjoyed that word. So they have special people out there that they're called senior movers, and they help seniors right size and declutter. So you may want to contact, you know, somebody in your area, just say, hey, you know, I'm putting together referral lists for clients, and I came across your Yelp reviews, and I thought I would love to put you in my database because you really know this market. You know, if there's anything I could do in 91436, just give her the zip code wherever you are. You know, let me know. I'm happy to help you. I'm SRES designated. And you can also do that with maybe a handyman. Somebody that you can get, like, you know, that's in that neighborhood that may be able to help. So when you see a post, I know Debbie Gentry and Donald use what's door? What's the
next door? Something
next
like
door.
Next
They
door.
answer a lot of questions on that, and Facebook pages. Oh, if you're part of neighborhood Facebook pages, you can refer out, and so you kind of look like an expert. So you want to look like an expert in your community, and the way you look like an expert, and since you can't physically do face-to-face in certain areas, I know like California was locked down for a lot longer than most places are, so
Yeah, we're pretty open here.
Yeah, but I'm just saying is like it was hard, for those senior communities and events to be happening. I know they're starting to happen again, but you can pick up a phone and call somebody. I would also suggest we did a series. Debbie and Donald actually put together like a referral network for their neighborhood and the villages. And so we did a series about referral networks, and you can just call these people. You don't have to physically meet with them. But the three things you really want to give them is, this is the area that I work. Give them praise and tell them I saw your Yelp reviews. I'd love to, because you want people who are highly rated in that area, right? You don't want like Joe Schmo with no rating.
Well, we actually have a magazine. I live in a community called Oakhurst. And I do know that there's a magazine called Positively Oakhurst. So what you're telling me is I should look at those ads and call those people.
Exactly, because you don't have to redo the work. One of the things that I keep hearing from everybody that comes on our masterminds that teach us this stuff, they're like, why redo all the work? You just borrow and you tweak it to make it your own. But you have to do the footwork, and that footwork is finding your sphere, your little group of people. So if Shirley May 5 houses down in your community, all of a sudden you see her out by her mailbox and the mailbox is like leaning or something, you'd be like, oh hey, I got a great handyman for that. Starts up a conversation. But you can call these people, and specifically senior service-based people. One of the things that I have in my database are caregiving companies. Make sure that whoever you're working with, and if you're going to give out their information, licensed, bonded, insured. You have to make sure, because you don't want to give out somebody that's like not a great person to work with.
So Christine, if you get on your next door in your area, as a real estate agent, you really can't advertise on there unless you want to pay for it. But pay attention, do a search in there and see who's the best plumber that's recommended over and over.
So I can ask for recommendations.
Well, I would just go and do a search to see who's been recommended so many times over and over and over. Electricians, handyman, because people get aggravated with answering the same question over and over and over in Nextdoor. So if you use the search bar and put in plumber, you'll find out there's been 50 searches or 50 posts for the plumbers, and the same 5 show up every time. But those are the ones that, you want to start recommending, because, if they're recommended over and over in Nextdoor, they're not doing any harm to the neighbors overall.
I see.
When people say, well, I want them licensed and insured, and I say, well, what's a handyman licensed in? In Florida, there is no license for a handyman. He might have a business license, but most of ours are Joe Blow, the handyman. But if you go on Nextdoor and ask for, search handyman, you'll see the same 10 that show up every darn time. Great idea. Thanks. So the other thing that I do here pre-COVID, I've told Donald I need to get back to, is talk to some of your attorneys there that do estate planning. Before COVID, I was doing seminars with one of the major ones here. They would present, why do you need a trust, a will, a power of attorney, this, that, and the other. And then I would have 15-20 minutes to talk about the current real estate environment, stats, etc. And it worked well, and I got some leads off of that. So working with just one, figure out, once again, get on Nextdoor, who's the best estate lawyer, and try to see if they'll work with you. Because you don't want to spread your wealth too far, because you want to be loyal to them. They'll be loyal to you.
Yes, thank you.
The other thing on Nextdoor that you can do, and Debbie does a great job because I see it, is answer questions. People want to see who's actually knowledgeable in the community. So answer those questions. And just following up to what you and Debbie were just talking about, it's not just about the plumber, it's about the electrician, it's about the carpenter, it's about the landscaper. It's about all those things that could go wrong or that somebody could want to improve in a home is what people are looking for. So always chime in. Debbie does a great job of it. I don't, but Debbie does a great job of it. The other thing, I think one of the things that I do good at is going into Facebook groups that support the community that I want to look at or become the expert in. Because at the end of the day, the goal is to be the industry expert or the realtor of that community and be known for that, so that people reach out to you automatically when they think about buying or selling a home. So one of the things that I do is I post questions. I probe. I like probing. And I get lots of interaction on Facebook. I mean, there's been posts, I've been 700, 800, over 1,000 comments.
Wow.
And I respond to every comment.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes I probe a little more. And sometimes I say, you know, I like that too. And it could just be something very simple. Like somebody might post, I really had a great meal at Bluefin Restaurant last night. I had XYZ. I had salmon over rice and blah, blah, blah. I might write, great. What's the other dish you might like there?
Oh, I see.
So and then what you do is you take them offline into Messenger, off of Facebook.
Okay.
Bring them into Messenger. Now you're having private conversations with them. And now you got a one-on-one, you're building rapport one-on-one. And only when they ask you about real estate, do you mention real estate.
Okay.
Let them mention it. And they will. They'll ask you about real estate, without a doubt. Those are some of the tips that I would suggest without being in front of people.
I have a suggestion.
Sure.
And that is, like I'm wearing it now, because that's where I was today, member of one of the Rotaries here in the village. It's the Noon Rotary. Those groups are all over the country. There's Rotaries, and if you join one Rotary, you can actually go to meetings at other Rotaries. But there's two opportunities there. There's Chambers of Commerce, Rotaries, there's other groups, similar groups. That way you already have a group. Plus, these groups are always looking for good speakers on various topics. So you don't have to go find an audience. They're already there. You can have the opportunity to maybe join some of those groups, and that way you can find some of the professionals that you're looking to network with, as well as be able to speak to those groups. And depending on, like I know with the Rotary in the villages, most of the folks are retired, not all of us, but a lot of them. So you're actually going after your senior community. And, so it's a way to go from there and make connections, which then could lead you to other groups or other connections. But some of these groups already exist. So, you don't have to reinvent the wheel 100% in finding various groups, Lions groups, as say Rotary.
Optimist.
There's multiple, like Chambers of Commerce that are around, groups like that. They're always looking for people that are willing to volunteer for various events. And
BNIs.
Yep. Well, BNI is a different.
That's different.
Oh,
It is.
I would say, yes, it's a group there, but it's a different format, different perspective, and
what is it called?
BNI.
Oh, BNI. Okay.
BNI, and that's all. Yeah, that's out there, but that is a completely different than some of these other groups. A lot of these other groups are more looking with a social active purpose to help the community, help seniors, people need housing issues, a lot of topics which are great for realtors being, works right into the bailiwick of And so I would suggest checking those out as well as everything that Dawn had said.
So Christine, also I'm heavily involved with the area on aging, and everybody has an area on aging in their where they live. It's everywhere. They have the state and your city or your county has an office, and it's the place where they help seniors with with financial needs of their homes. If something's happening, they go there, and it's a great way to see what's going on in your community, and be a part of it, and be able to give back into the senior community. You get to meet a lot of like very big dignitary people in that housing market. So I've met some really great people. So your area on aging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's
great ideas. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, this is why we have these open conversations, is to get past everything. I know Isabel said, what's the name of the group? Again, it's called Area on Aging. Can you share it on chat? Yes, I will share it on chat shortly. This is why we have this. We want, collaboration. We're all from different brokerages. Not all of us are in the same brokerage probably on this call. We open it up to all, but we all have one thing in common, and that's the senior market. We all want to work with it. We all want to know more about it. We all want to better ourselves in it and educate and empower ourselves. So this open discussion helps all of us out. I mean, I'm sure some of us, like myself, we always learn a little nugget from one of these, and we get to take it away. And with 13 of us on here, I hope one of us, other than Christine, myself, Donald, and Debbie, and Bob, but please speak up if there's other things. Is there any kind of classes that you guys want to see us teach or bring in, or people, anything? Open your mic, talk, please. We encourage it.
So I'm looking into the senior market where I live. There are a lot of, like maybe the active agers sorts, and then more senior sorts. And I'm trying to really understand who the people are in the market, and also just trying to really understand what motivates them to sell houses and how I can appeal to them in my marketing efforts.
Okay, so, very easy for anybody who doesn't know how to hone in on their in their 5 miles around them. If you are on the MLS, or you can contact your title person, whoever your title rep is, or somebody that you're close with, you can ask them for all the anybody that's owned their homes over 30 or 40 years. Anybody that's owned it 30 or 40 years. So if you look at people that have owned it for, let's say 40 years, think about the equity that they have in their home. Okay, now let's go one step further. If we take, and I'm going to draw it down a little bit farther to when you were just asking the question of how do you know who's going to move or why they need to move? Well, let's take it to, let's say in that 5 mile radius, we have 400 homes. It's going to be more than that, but you'd be surprised. Let's say we break it down, and in those homes, let's say we're gonna take out all the 1-story homes that have a bedroom and a full bathroom on the first floor. Now I'm only looking at 2-story homes in that demographics that have no bathroom and no bedroom on the first floor. Why am I asking that question? Because as we know, as an SRES designation, and in any kind of anybody with mobility issues, you can't go up and down stairs if you have a walker or a wheelchair. So that means you need a bedroom and a full bathroom on a bottom floor. Not only that, but you need to have an entryway that's going to be large enough to accommodate a walker or wheelchair. But how about no steps going into that entryway into a home? What are you going to do if you have steps? So now you're going to talk about modifying. So now a homeowner is going to be left with either when they take a fall, and we know the statistics on falls, when they take a fall, they're either going to need to modify that home or they're going to need to move. That's going to be their two options. If they modify the home, do they have the financial means to put in a stair lift or something to get them up the stairs, or to build a bathroom on the first level, or to accommodate a mobility issue when they fall? We know that, I believe it's 74% of falls over the age of 65 happen in a bathroom, in their bathroom. So you can imagine you take a fall, and now we know we all want to stay at home. We don't want to be in a facility. So that's what happens with a senior homeowner. You got to modify or move. And we know that it's a big demographics of home ownership. But like Bob was saying, that's where their money is tied up. Their money is in their home. And so what happens when they have a medical issue and Medicare, Medicaid, and insurance aren't giving them all the benefits they need? And then it's costing them so much X, Y, and Z to be living in a facility or something else. So then there becomes the other issue with them. Do I move or do I stay? So that's, as a real estate agent, it's only our job to give them the resources for all these people in our community and look like an expert, like what we were talking about on here. Because if we have these resources in our back pocket and we're answering Facebook questions of like, oh yeah, I've got this, great gardener. Oh yeah, I've got this. And then somebody all of a sudden chimes in and they had a fall in their house. Do they know of a person that can come in and help them modify it? Well, guess what? Then you call a CAPS person. That's a certified aging in place specialist. They go into homes and they outfit the home. And, or you can get a handyman come in there to install the grab bars in a bathroom. So you then now become a senior expert in your community because somebody just all messaged, I just took a fall and I need some help. I need, a company that's going to help me, in my home, like I need an OT, an occupational therapist. And us as senior real estate agents, we should have some of these people in our back pocket because senior homeowners are going to need them. And so if you just say, hey, here's some 3 companies that people have used, and they can look up these 3 companies and maybe use them, they're like, hey, I like what this girl just gave me. I wonder if she's got this. And they may call you and say, hey, I need to put something I need an electrician to install, smart devices, because that's going to be the next step of a homeowner. They need smart devices, but they can't install it. They're going to need someone to install. But guess what? You, as the real estate agents, can be like, I got the guy who does smart devices. And so that's why you have that referral network, because when that homeowner who takes the fall, unfortunately, needs certain little things to help them, you've got it. Or if that homeowner wants to move out of the country, you've got expat. There's just certain little things that as a senior real estate agent, you sound like you know more than the regular real estate agent does. And it's all it is just, giving them information. And it's information Donald was telling you and Debbie was telling you, like just answering questions. I call it stalking. Like I stalk certain questions because I want to be able to answer them as like the person that is knowledgeable in it. So I'll stalk certain questions and I'll give like a great response. I'll definitely formulate it, of certain ways or how I would handle it. Or I would say, oh, with my clients, blah, 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 blah. I've brought in a CAPS specialist. You've now said, hey, with my clients, I've brought in a CAPS specialist. And then in parentheses, you put certified aging in place specialist, a person who can help you age safely in your home. Now they're like, ooh, age safely in my home. But what if I can't? Oh, then I'm here to help you sell it. Do you guys understand that that yin and yang of giving them all that information, but still be like, I'm going to sell that house. When you can't live in it, I'm selling it.
What about the fact that, you know, I guess for some of them, the house is in a trust, and their children actually own it now, or I had a couple, they were working with me, and then they actually both passed away, one after the other. When I just met them, I was just starting in real estate, and I was just starting to get to know them, and then COVID, and then they both passed away, one after the other. And then their children sold it, and I never knew any of this was happening. I mean, are you marketing in some ways to, like, I mean, I guess I was like, wow, I don't want to be like chasing this down, but should you be chasing their heirs at some level?
I can answer that.
Martha said something great. She said the key is developing relationships.
Right.
But Debbie actually works with stuff that with probate, and unfortunately she has had this happen to her before, and she can talk better than I can to this. So Debbie, why don't you chime in on your past experience?
So when you start working with folks, the old-fashioned, what I call shopping list, magnetic, that you put on your refrigerator that people seem to not use, you need to give your clients that right away. Because if the kids show up after something happens, your card is on that refrigerator. Where are they going to call first? That sounds like so simple, but that's what I do. I don't do a calendar because they're going to throw it away at the end of the year. If they never use the shopping list with 25 pages or 50 pages, it's going to be on that refrigerator when something happens. That's number one when you start working with anybody in this age group. Number two, and I'm not good at this, so hopefully you can be better, is you need to put out YouTubes of how to sell your parents' house. You need to explain, hey, I can handle it, help you through the probate process, or even if they don't have to probate, I can help you through selling your parents' house. I need to do that. I'm terrible at videos, and I know that, but I have written documentation out there that are getting some pretty good SEO on. So if somebody goes and Googles probate or selling my parents' house, I want that to come up. So that's pretty good ways, but primarily just get that magnet on that refrigerator the moment that you start talking to anybody, and they love it. I give them an ink pen and a shopping list, and it hangs up on the refrigerator, and then hopefully if something does happen, you'll still be there on the refrigerator. But there's a whole nother session on how to work with when the parents die. It depends on every state, and I can point you in the direction if you really want to specialize in that. It is a very emotional and hard to work environment because it's a long process and pretty emotional for everybody. So ask me if you want the info.
I have another suggestion, a little bit different, but just to throw it out there. And actually was on a web session this morning with a bunch of other people here in the villages. And it was suggested that one group within a group, if you're looking at what your demographics are and who's your client or who's your potential customer, is one area that a lot of folks have is travel. There are a lot of seniors who, because now they're retired, have the time, which they didn't before, and have the resources, and basically are looking for opportunities of things to do, like travel. And as a realtor, you potentially can connect with travel agents and basically put on maybe some presentations inviting seniors to an event which is focused on, some travel situations. Get some of the travel agents or travel companies, be it cruise lines or, bus tours or train experiences or others, to be able to come do a presentation. It's another subject matter which a lot of seniors are interested in. And what your objective is, you're trying to become the person who people are going to go to when they have a situation. So you can be able to bring into line with that travel, the real estate market and what's going on. So they're going to think of you as being the person, and you have something else to be talking about. So they're not going to say, oh, I'm going to this event. I get postcards every day in the mail from one realtor or another trying to give either a valuation on my house or invited me to a dinner or lunch or something. The reality is that they're trying to sell you something. But if they are buying like travel, it's one topic, and there are probably other topics that seniors might be involved in, which you can be able to use to be able to be the magnet that attracts people to you. And then you become the circle of influence for that whole group of people who have a lot of resources. They may buy that second home, that vacation home, or upgrade. We talk about downgrade. Some people around here like the nice, shiny new object and may find that too many relatives are coming, there aren't enough room. They need to upgrade their property. So it goes both ways. But that's one idea that came up this morning about tying in with some travel agencies and offering that as a subject matter that a lot of seniors are interested in. Just a thought.
Yeah, agree with that, Bob. Travel is, that's what seniors want to do. Between traveling, golf, and family, what else is there? That's truly what people want. I mean, partnering with anybody who deals with the senior community is who we should be building relationships with, including the painter, the plumber, the carpenter, electrician, and so on. Because they're the ones that are in the houses every day. I mean, even doctors. You look at doctors, depending on your community, they have a list of seniors that they take care of. Mm-hmm. So just another avenue. There's all kinds of avenues for seniors.
The other avenue, oh, sorry, Donald.
Go ahead.
The other avenue that I have been pursuing as well is meeting assisted living facility directors, because they need to fill their homes. So they will actually give you got to work something out with them, but they will actually give you a referral fee for bringing somebody into their place. It's just another avenue of working with senior homeowners and being able to also I don't say partner up because you can't use that word, but you can kind of work together collaboratively in the community by helping each other out. And you, once again, look like the expert in the community by having connections with somebody in an assisted living facility. When a family member has that issue, Helen, like you were saying, what if the family member, oh my God, my parent, is taking a fall? Guess what? You've already been talking to them and you'd be like, oh, I've got people in place. No problem. I can help you out here. Here's contact this person at this facility. She's great. Tell her I referred you. Once again, you've now connected yourself with somebody in the community, and then you've connected yourself with the community and a senior kind of part of the community, and you can bring it to the homeowner. Homeowner's going to need to go somewhere. You can't sell their home underneath them. You've got to give them options. So think about psychologically about a homeowner being in this home for 40 years. And I'm going to take it to 40 years ago, buying a piece of property. They had a carbon copy of a listing agreement. They had no inspections. I mean, I just saw a listing agreement from 62 years ago. Oh my God, it's crazy. So you can imagine that all of a sudden now they're going to be faced with all this paperwork. Well, let's take it one step further. How are you going to help them with the paperwork? Because that's a little overwhelming. Then you have 50 years of belongings in the house. That's why you have someone to help them declutter or to right size to the place where they're moving to. Now let's take it another step further. Their family member is involved in this because we know there's a lot of tensions that go on, especially with kids. Kids want to sell the house. Kids want to sell it. They want out. But what do you do with the parents? So if you, as a real estate agent, have that connection in your community, and you with an assisted living facility, or maybe not assisted living facility, maybe it's an active adult community. You're going to see more and more of them popping up. There's different styles of living that are popping up. There's also boarding cares, which is just basically a home that has 6 rooms or 5 rooms in it, and a caregiver that oversees all these people, but people can come and go. So it's your job to find out what's in your community to offer these people. So when they need to move, you can give them options. Here's a couple little options here, or did you think about this? Or what about when they want to leave the community, they want to move out of the country? That's called expat, and that's another one. So you're just giving them options to think about, but you're making it very easy for them. And like I said, all of a sudden the kids get involved, and now you're going to become an expert on, oh, let me help you find the place to put them. Because you're going to be a problem solver for the kids. Sorry, you are. You got to put yourself in that position. Just don't get involved. Please don't get involved. Because that's like, that will kill a deal. Immediately, don't get involved.
One area that you might look at is multi-generational housing. Depending on your zoning, depending on the area, that now you may be able to attract, you have an issue. Maybe you don't want to be sending the grandmother off to the home, quote unquote. Maybe if it can safely be done, she can stay in the home, but that same home can solve the problem of the younger generation who can't really afford on their own to buy the house in today's market in a community, but maybe to buy a little bigger house and combine. I know it's a whole bunch of people have done this, where the seniors as well as their kids are now living in the same house, and depending on, that's used to be years and years ago. That's what happened before they had all these assisted living type facilities. Grandma, grandpa was living in the house, and so was the parents, and so were their kids, and multi-generational. Can't do that in the villages, but certainly other places that's an option. So we're dealing with the seniors, but maybe part of the solution is other parts of the family, and not to dismiss the fact that maybe that house or another house might be perfect for all of them to be living in. Since grandma can take care of the little kid during the day, part of the day, while the parents are off working, avoid some of the daycare issues. And there's a bunch of different options like that.
I think we're going to see a lot more of that, right? As costs keep getting higher and higher in the assisted living, memory care type facilities, I think we're going to go back to the generational home, multi-generational housing environments where you have the grandparent, the parent, and the children, grandchildren living in. Just to kind of follow up what you were saying, Bob, I think we're going to see a lot more of that. Just from an economic standpoint. Any other topics? Anything else we can cover?
Hey, let me jump in for a minute here.
Hey, Terry.
How you doing? Hey, I'll full disclosure, I don't sell anymore, so I just run a team and that, but one of the things we teach the team is with sphere of influence, making calls out to become the resource. And that's what I hear you guys talking about here, is becoming the resource. Now, how you do that, there's a lot of different ways. The Facebook, if you have phone numbers, call them. But on the calls that we have them make, they're not, hey, this is Terry with ABC Realty. You want to sell your house. It literally is a warm call. If you have anything going on, I got a lot of contractors and contacts. Do you need anything right now? One thing, statistics have shown that typically people that need something done, about 25% of them are ready to make a move. So you're already tapping into a market that's moving toward moving. Now, there's some unique situations, obviously, in the senior community. I have a contractor. I say I don't do this, but I just had a family that the mom wants to move here and they're looking for a house. We can't find one with a mother-in-law suite. So when we find a house, I bring the contractor in. He goes, it's going to be $40,000 to add on a mother-in-law suite. And being able to do that, I think, distinguishes us in the marketplace. But being able to be the source, now how you do that and then how you bridge the gap to the kids that are coming in. I like the magnet on the refrigerator because that is a place that people go to. But anyway, I was just hearing this and I'm going, this is a speech I give to about 30 agents up here on a regular basis. You call your sphere of influence, you just ask them, is there any way you can help? And it does generate business. It's slow in building, but they become the trusted resource in the area. And they typically get the call when it comes time to buy or sell.
So
There's a lot of
Donald,
similarity. I thought I'd jump in.
thanks, Terry.
Thank
Donald,
you.
do you want to show our referrals thing that we have, just in case somebody
Yeah.
hasn't seen it?
You know what, Debbie, that would be awesome. Donald's going to share his screen. For everybody who was just listening to Debbie talk, Donald's going to share a screen. We are talking about that referral network. Now, Donald and Debbie live in the Villages, and the Villages is its very unique senior community onto its own. So they have an amazing foundation. However, for most of us across the rest of the United States, I would tweak some of this for our markets because like on the East Coast, you need people to to take the snow, off your driveway. You need to add that into this referral list. Like they don't have that down in the Villages, or like siding or special like gutter type stuff. We don't have siding on the West Coast. So like I said, it would, each coast would be different. And then again, because they're a senior community, there's certain things that they don't have on there that I would add for myself just to tailor it more for a senior. But Donald?
The one thing that I wanted to add back to our Nextdoor comment, when somebody on Nextdoor asks for what I'll call major landscaping, I actually private message them and give them some names and ask them, what's the purpose of doing this? Is it just a refresh? You trying to make it, more livable? What is it? And a lot of times I'll find out they're preparing it to sell. So just know that in Florida, at least, landscaping is one of the big things. We all know curb appeal. So make sure you have those people that can do what I call the total refresh of landscaping for your area. But yeah, you have to tailor this list to be what your area needs. So
Yeah, just give me a minute. It's this.
So some of the things that I would add onto this list would be like occupational therapist. I would add, somebody that deals with aging in place. So if somebody decides to stay in their home, that you could bring somebody in that's CAPS designated. We have a website for our designees, and you can go on there and find local designees in your area. Typically, they're people that are in the building industry or architects that will take this course. I took it. It's phenomenal. It's a great learning experience in it. But some of the other, items you'll see on here, like, mobility. There you go. So This is their website, guys. Look how beautiful this is. Very easy and clean to read. And that's the way you have to have it. Watch the pictures of how they do this. Very simple on home services. Look, you don't need an abundance of people. You want to stick with just a few. Remember, you don't like Donald, I think Donald or Debbie said, you don't like, you only want you want one or two people that you really trust. You don't need 10 or 20 because then you're not like an expert in it. That's great to have a lot of handymen because people always need that. But as you can see, like a lanai, and we don't have any of that on the West Coast, but a lot of the stuff is the base for what everybody would need. Getting an idea. But so like vinyl repair and cleaning, West Coast, we don't have vinyl, but you know, there's other things to be done. But like I said, everything on this is a great base. I think, Donald, can you just copy and paste? Yeah, make sure you have stuff like that on there. But can you copy and paste this so people can see your guys' website? I love it.
Yeah. So the key thing is this disclaimer, right? These are people, what we're saying here is these are third-party referrals, not holding your brokerage, you as a realtor or your broker with any liability claims or anything like that. These are merely people that our clients, our customers have used and said they were reliable, dependable, and honest. The other thing is our other services. So going back to what Heather was saying with the occupational therapists and things like that, for our website, that's where we would put it, is other services, because these are not, these are not your painters, your tradesmen, if you will. These are more other professionals that people would use, seniors in particular would use.
But one thing I do want to point out to everybody, do you see how clean and easy it is to read this? And it's a picture next to something. As we get older, our minds need less on a paper. It's too much. It gets too overwhelming. So very clean and easy to read. And what's really nice, we did a newsletter for seniors. So if you ever put a newsletter together, you can always feature one of these people on the bottom of your newsletter. It's great. And it's like, you got content in there and you don't have to fill a space on your page, so it's just stuff to put out there that you can always think ahead. Or, if you do an email blast to people, not, just put a little on the bottom of your email blast, put one of these tradesmen or work something out with them. So it's just sphere. It's what Terry was saying, helping yourself be the expert.
And one thing that we did decide to be very cautious about putting this like on Nextdoor. I would never share this because now you're not the expert because you just gave it to everybody. But, I've been giving it to my past customers. I've been giving it to people, the buyers, when they close. They need locksmiths. Oh, well, I have a referral website. Here it is. And they're just blown away that we have something like this. So be cautious about not just putting it out there for the general public.
And I think one thing that I like about your site is the fact in most of the things you have 3 or more. So people have an option. So it's more of these are people you can contact, and then it's not a case of if you just give them one, then if it doesn't work out for some reason, they're coming back at you. But basically you've given them choices.
You will always want to get choices.
It goes a long way for your own protection, no matter what happens. And anything could happen in any situation. So giving multiple choices, ultimately, you've given them enough so they can make multiple contacts and they can make the final decision of who they actually use.
And we thought it was important.
That's good.
We thought it was important to put this piece right here. Seniors against crime or versus crime. It's just something else, some more information to give out to them should they ever be ripped off by a vendor or stood up by a vendor, that they have a place to report.
Before I forget, one thing I just thought about that would be amazing and I've never seen an agent do this, but what about partnering up with a tech savvy person that can help seniors know to like how to deal with security, like, with emails and spam and all that stuff. There's a woman out there that teaches tech to senior. Well, I mean, I think that would be, if you could bring in like a person that teaches tech and do some sort of a community thing, like we were talking about an attorney and about you get an escrow person or a loan person, and you bring in somebody for a community thing. Maybe if you put a tech person in there to talk about senior tech and crime, or about senior tech in your home and what it does for you. Just another avenue of thinking about it. I just thought, sorry.
Yeah, no, my neighbors think of me that way all the time. In fact, there might be one or two in my living room right now.
Well, that should be on the list here. You should put that, maybe some extra money on the side.
32 years of tech was enough.
But
on Nextdoor, you can actually create a group, which there's a group on ours called Cutting the Cord or Cut the Cord. I forgot which way it is, or streaming, because so many people are tired of paying their Comcast of the world, $100 or $200 for whatever. So create those groups on Nextdoor and be the expert on it, or find the expert to help you run it. It's pretty interesting.
Finding the expert is the key to being the master in your area. That's your job. Just you're the expert. Find all of those people and network with them.
Yep.
And have fun doing it. Don't make it a job. Have fun, enjoy it. That's what we're in here for, right?
Yep.
All right, so
5 minutes.
Got 5 more minutes. Okay, please let us know. Is there anything you guys want us to teach in any of these masterminds? And I am going to, Donald, I'm going to try to pull up our, what do we have coming up?
Next week we have Bernard is back.
Oh, if you guys miss Bernard, why don't you tell them about Bernard and what he's teaching us? Because this was probably one of the hottest ones we did.
I gotta look and see. I don't remember what he's covering next week.
He did marketing.
He did marketing. He's a marketing expert. He's just got a wealth of information, and he looks at things from a different perspective than the average person looks, the average realtor looks, or even as a business owner looks at things.
Right. He taught us how to find certain search and keywords and see how many times they were being used, clicked on, and what words went together that made your search engine, your whatever your post was, more valuable in the search. He said if it's this many characters, then you're better off between this many characters. So that's what he's bringing to the table. That's what he taught last time. He's teaching part 2, but part 1 was recorded, so you can see that. And I believe, what else is coming up? We're going to have a Canva course at the end of the month. So we'll be doing Canva again for anybody that wants to do Canva. And what are the other ones we have? Are you looking at the sheet?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Bringing it up.
Okay. And then at the end of August, we have Seniors Day. And that's going to be a fun-packed event that we're currently working on and getting speakers for. So that's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
So May 10th, we have Nolly Williams, and he will be doing some of his lead generation techniques. We haven't had him speak before. He's got a pretty unique spin to how to do lead generation. Who's after that, Donald?
I've heard Nolly speak, and he's really great.
Yeah, and then we have Stephen Norris talking about probate and estate planning. Then we have Nick Knight. I'm not going to butcher his name, but he's doing video marketing for senior demographics as a bunny goes by my window.
Nick Nihas.
Nick Nihas, that's it. He's doing video marketing on May 24th. May 31st is Eve and Heather doing marketing tools in Canva.
We're gonna do slide decks in Canva. We're gonna work on some stuff on Canva with you guys. If there's anything you guys want, let us know in the chat.
That's the next month. Well, we just want to thank everyone for coming this evening.
Put Bernard's last name in the chat, Donald.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's from the EXP commercial side, but don't let that scare you away, because he definitely has a very unique spin to things that really woke me up to some techniques.
Okay, so somebody just said, can we get Jeff Weiss to speak? Helen, can you let us know who this person is? I will definitely reach out to him.
Okay, yeah, I was just looking around, researching the age group, and I wondered how much who in the 55 plus community uses how you reach them through marketing through online. And so I came across this ageofmajority.com, and they do a lot of market research on active agers. So these are people who are still, out traveling and golfing and such. And, people, 55 plus, everybody that age and is already pretty savvy about computers. And not everybody in that age group, though, still uses them and all of this sort of stuff. So, you've got, I'd just like to know more about who these people are, what they think about, where they eat, how they get dressed, where they go. I want to know all about who they are as people, like what interests them. And they do reports sometimes and a lot of market research, and you can pay them to do market research for you because they've got, I guess, a community of people who are 55 plus who will respond.
I'm going to reach out to him.
Maybe he can talk to us. I don't know, but maybe. And if you're over 55, you should contact them and become part of their group, and just to learn, I guess.
I'll have to reach out to him. So thank you, everybody. It's 8 o'clock. I appreciate you spending an hour with us. We will see you next Tuesday night with Bernard for the second half. If you did not see his first one, go to our YouTube because all of it's recorded in there. If you don't know where our YouTube channel, the link to our YouTube channel is, you can find it in our Metaverse on Workplace, or you can see it on our Facebook Workplace or Facebook group, either one. It's at the top pinned. Donald Maycott has pinned it at the top for our YouTube, and you can see all our past ones. Check his first one out, and this is his second half that he's coming back to do, so you can kind of see it's pretty awesome. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good night.
Thank you.